What is going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider back at it again with yet another video. Today I thought I'd lounge back and do something a little bit different, but some news came out yesterday on who could possibly want to come over here to Las Vegas. We already know that the Raiders desperately need to get a quarterback in this upcoming draft, and by the way it looks right now, the Raiders are sitting at number 1 or number 2, depending on where you look. But nonetheless, quarterback is the biggest need for the Las Vegas Raiders, and the number 1 guy on everybody's list, on mostly everybody's list, is Shedeur Sanders. Now I know that there's other fans that would rather have Cam Moore, but the consensus favorite amongst Raider Nation, we all know, is Shedeur Sanders. And it also seems like Shedeur Sanders might want the same thing as well.
Tell the Raiders I'm trying to...
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
According to Jordan Rannon of ESPN, he reported that multiple sources close to Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado program believe that his preference would be to land in Las Vegas. Now, I feel like that's one of the worst kept secrets, and a lot of people can also back that up as well, because we know that Deion, we know that Shedeur, there's a lot of ties to Las Vegas. Then you add the name value of Shedeur Sanders and just the fact that we need a quarterback that can get it done, then Shedeur Sanders is your guy. And on top of that, just last week, Dan Orlovsky was asked about this, and he talked about it on the Get Up, basically saying that it's common knowledge that everybody knows that Shedeur wants to go to Las Vegas, and it is the worst kept secret in sports today.
Deion sounds like he's made it pretty clear that's where he wants Shedeur to wind up. Does that feel like the right fit?
That feels like the worst kept secret in sports right now, is that the Shedeur Sanders wants to go to the Raiders, and the Raiders should want Shedeur Sanders. So you are more than likely going to have the first pick of the draft. You have to go get a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks. Shedeur Sanders is Tua, maybe not as touch-oriented as a passer. He's a very, very good football player. Physically, not going to wow you, but I think he's got a chance to be a really high-end starter.
And I agree with Dan 100%. Now, I really love the comparison that he made to Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks, because I believe that that's Shedeur Sanders' floor coming into the NFL. You know, when you compare him to Cam Ward, yes, Cam Ward is more flashier. Yes, he's more elusive. He's got more skills running all over the pocket and making some electrifying plays. But the guy that's more NFL ready to come into the league right now, that's a much safer bet with a higher floor, I would have to give that to Shedeur Sanders. And that's the comparison that I give a lot of people. When people ask me about this, I feel like Geno Smith is a perfect comparison to what we can expect out of Shedeur Sanders at his floor. And you guys got to think about it, though. When the Seattle Seahawks moved on from Russell Wilson and brought in Geno Smith, nobody expected the Seattle Seahawks to go out there and be competitive. But Geno Smith did his thing, had a great season, a Pro Bowl season that year. And this is happening at the latter end of his career. Imagine having a quarterback that consistent coming out of the gate. I feel like Shedeur Sanders gives that to the Raiders. Now, fast forward from that, we all know the viral clip of Shedeur Sanders passing by Allegiant Stadium, posting it on his story and saying, legendary. That clip right there got a lot of people hyped up, especially within the Raider Nation. Travis Hunter actually brought this up on his show to Shedeur and asked him about this post.
I have a few questions related to the Las Vegas, you know. You know what I'm talking about, bro, what you posted on your story. Why you post that, bro?
Because it was a nice stadium, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I was there too. I seen the stadium. You're right, bro. It was a nice stadium. It was a nice stadium.
I just ain't post. You was in the car with me, but I'll be wrong about it.
We can't be talking about the NFL right now. We ain't there yet.
Now, I know that Shedeur doesn't really want to come out and say, hey, I want to go and play for the Las Vegas Raiders, but I feel like all the signs are there. Now, his dad, Deion Sanders, was asked on the Rich Eisen show on his preference on where he would want Shedeur Sanders to play. I mean, we all know the two teams that's going to want to get him in the draft, but I wanted to play this clip for you guys.
What about the plan for Shedeur, who could be first overall? What's your plan here, your draft plan?
I just want these guys happy, man. I just want them happy in the right situation to soar. Unfortunately, they're so good that they're going to go to a team that wasn't that good the prior year.
What do you mean by that?
But that could all change with an announcement of their names.
Do you have a spot that you want Shedeur to go to that you're not?
No.
You don't have one.
You know what his goal is? Go before I did. And he's going to eclipse that because I was 5th pick. He's certainly going to be 1 or 2 or whatever it's going to be.
Deep down, you know the teams that could potentially take your son here.
Yeah, it's the Raiders and the Giants. The Raiders and the Giants. It's those two probably.
And there's no preference for one over the other. One is in the New York market. One is in Las Vegas. How do you respond to people that think that you and your son are a package deal in the professional football ranks.
Spoken to anyone about a package deal or anyone about a deal, period.
Of course, we know that Deion's just trying to keep it all professional. But if you were to ask me, and you look at this video that was shot back at the Super Bowl, I think we all know where he wants him to go.
Now I just need you to do one thing. I need you to draft those Sanders boys next year.
So with all that being said, though, Raider Nation, I know this isn't anything new that we didn't already know before, but just to hear more reports coming out as the days and the weeks go by really makes this journey really interesting going up into the draft. Now, I know we got 3 more games left. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars actually tomorrow, and I hope the Raiders don't fuck around and win that game. But the Raiders' destiny to the number 1 pick depends on what they want to do the rest of the season. If we lose out, we keep that number 1 pick. Right now, we are tied with the New York Giants with the worst record in the NFL. And surprisingly enough, those are the 2 teams that really want to get Shedeur Sanders on their roster. So if the Raiders mess around and win a game, we could drop down to, who knows, out of the top 5. Now, would that be bad? Not entirely. And I know that there's Raider fans that don't want to lose games and feel like, Raider fans that actually want the Raiders to tank are fake fans. I just feel like the Raider fans that want us to tank are the fans that just have hope for something else. And I can't blame anybody for wanting to tank because we do need a quarterback. And if we don't get Shedeur, then that's totally fine. But I do feel like the perfect quarterback for the Raiders to draft is Shedeur Sanders. Now, I wouldn't be mad if we drafted Cam Ward because I know a lot of people want Cam Ward. And if I was to compare the two, because it's definitely going to come down to those two, Cam Ward has a much higher ceiling than Shedeur Sanders. But I feel like Shedeur Sanders, seeing how he played with a bad offensive line and knowing that we've struggled with an offensive line, he's excelled at Colorado. Now, I know college is different from the NFL, but I feel like he is also the more NFL-ready quarterback coming into the league. And like I said before, he brings that name value, that recognition to Las Vegas. So if I had to choose, I would obviously go Shedeur Sanders. But if the Raiders were to go into a different direction, I wouldn't be mad at all. But with that said, though, Raider Nation, I just thought that this was some interesting news to find out just yesterday. And I wanted to just present it to you guys and see what you guys think about this. You guys know where my head is at going into the draft, but I want to ask you, if you had to choose between Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, who would you draft with the number 1 pick overall? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next one, this is your boy Small Raider and your boys. Yeah!
And you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.